Hey guys, I was kindly sent, because this is due very shortly, I was kindly sent a sample of the new AFV Club M113 Australian version with the T50 turret. This is probably one of the most long-awaited Australian M113s that we've been chasing for years and years and years. AFV Club announced or mentioned that they were going to do a series of family of 113s, so it's nice to see it's finally here. And I appreciate the supplier who sent it down to me to have a look so we can play show and tell for you. So as I said, this is due to us probably mid next week. So I'll give you a little bit of a look-see as to what you're going to get. So there she is from the front. On the side, you can see all the details, the relative details for the T50 turret, and there's all sorts of things. A bit of a thing on some of the weapons in it. So let's have a look. Let's have a look inside. This is... The reviews I've read so far has been very, very good. Like any kit, there's always something you can add to it or whatever. So you get a nice little poster to start off with. This is the instructions. Very, very straightforward. The usual style of AFV Club. Very easy to follow generally. Colour call-outs are all the way through it. So there's all sorts of things. There's a lot of parts that you don't use from, because this is the original of the standard M113. And they've just added the relevant parts for the Australian one. So you're going to end up with a few bits and pieces. So there you go. So there's all that. This is all the T50 turret. There's about 6 or 7 different configurations for the turret. So it gives you all the parts to do it. Follow them carefully because there's a few little bits and pieces you have to do. There's all the weapons. The weapons do... Whoops. The weapons do and cover a lot of Australian. So that's basically all the American stuff, so you can add them if you want to throw them in. But for the Australian stuff, we've got SLRs and we've got... they've given you the 30 magazine and the 20 magazine. How do I know that? Because I actually have used these. So these are quite nice. I did some looks at some pictures, so you might want to check your references or have a look at references. The stock on that one seems a bit weird. The pictures I found don't show that sort of dip there, so you might want to either sand it down or tidy it up, or if you're just happy with it, just do it. There's also other weapons in here as well. This is the other weapons, so you get an F1 submachine gun, you get an Owen gun, and you get Sterling gun. Now the Sterlings were not used by Australians, they were used by the New Zealanders. Either AFV Club's got a plan to put a New Zealand version of this out, so that's why the weapons are in there. Or if you sort of do a bit of reference and research, you can actually find out what work you've got to do on the stock standard Australian one to do a New Zealand one. There's not a lot. I'm not sure if somebody might do some decals for it as well. These are all your different colour schemes. There's 5 choices, including Charlie Brown, which is one of my favourites. So they're all Vietnam era ones, so you're going to have a sort of play around with them. Supposedly they're all Vietnam era. I think they are. But so that's the instruction book, so that's pretty cool. Let's have a look at the plastic. Starting off with just the basic hull. Now this is the same hull from original, so that's pretty straightforward. What have we got here? This is just rear parts and doors and things like that, so there's all that. There is a couple of very good... there's a guy that's done I can't remember where he's from. He's done a really in-depth review of the kit, so if you really want to go to town and get everything sort of strictly correct, you can jump on there and have a look to see what he suggests. But for me, I'm just happy to have one. I've been in a few of these over the years. I'm just going to build one because I don't build armour a lot, but I'm going to do one of these because I've actually been in them. I'll run around in them. So that's some more just generic parts. These are weapons. This is the weapons that come with the standard kit, so it doesn't have... this is just M16s, machine guns, all sorts of bits and pieces. That's clear parts. And... oh, this is the clear parts, and this is the Australian weapons set. So you get the various machine guns for the T50 turret. You get, that's the Owen gun there. So that's very nicely done. All sorts of bits and pieces. There's the SLRs. They got the 30 mag and the 20 mag. That's the Sterling. And there's a suppressed Sterling too, which is interesting. But so that's the Australian weapons part of it. What else have we got? Oh, some more clear parts. Now, this is related to... no, sorry, this is mostly just this generic parts. A lot of these you won't use, so you're going to end up with some M113 part spares. This is the Aussie, this is the Australian parts. So this is all different parts. So you got a different deck, you got a different floor. There's a few other bits and pieces here, seats and things like that, turret rings and stuff like that. So that's all the Aussie stuff. The detail's very, very nice. All the bits and pieces are on it. It's all the different grab handles. There's supports there, doors. So that's pretty cool. Now, this is the T50 turret. So it's quite, so there's the ring for it, that's the turret. That's part of the drive mechanism, I believe. There's the covers, more parts and bits and seats. That's the gun ports. Bit of a frame there. So you've got all sorts of bits and pieces. The turret itself looks very nice. It's got all the sort of bits and pieces there. As I said, there's a guy that's done a really heavy duty type detail of each part of each section. So if you want to sort of go to town, yes, you could find more detail and do a bit more if you want to. But as I said, I'm just happy to build it. That's all your running gear. That's all basically stock standard. What else have we got? This is all engine decks. These are all parts you don't use, so that's not used in it anymore. So, but there's parts off each sprue that you require, but again, you're going to end up with a lot of spares. What have we got here? This is just more machine gun parts from the original, but there's probably bits and pieces on it that you need to use on the kit. So there's all sorts of, there's some more machine gun bits and pieces, things like that. So that's pretty cool. What I do like about this kit, the last few years I've heard more and more customers complaining about that they're tired of building links. And for someone that just wants to build this M113 who's not necessarily a full-time modeler or anything else, they've put in just the rubber band, what I call rubber band tracks, which is all I'm going to put on. I'm not interested in going to town. Yes, there's track links out there, and for probably 10 to 15% of the modelling world, they'll go and replace them. But to most modelers, I think they're just going to be happy just to do these. They're quite detailed. If you paint them up and everything else, and they're held together with pin, so there's a little pin that goes through and holds them on, then you can just sort of drape them over. People do all sorts of things if you want to sort of tie them to the tractor, give it a bit of a drape or whatever. But the realities are, most of the people that are going to buy this kit are not going to want to change tracks and everything else. So I'm glad that AFV Club have done this. This is really, really cool for me and a lot of others. Bit of etched metal. There's your decal sheet. Looks good. Doesn't seem to have any problems. A couple of etched metal. Now, does include now, which didn't come in the original kit, as far as I'm aware, from what I've been told, it's got wire or brass grills and things like that. So that's very, very good. So, and fair warning, don't come to me and say, oh, I'm missing the screens out of the kit because you've got the original kit and want to change the screens over. We know that's going to happen, so be aware of that. So, other than that, guys, this is a great kit. I'm really, really looking forward to doing this. For anybody that's ever been in an M113, stumbled around in it, been knocked over, they're a pig of a thing to run around in, but you'll find guys that love them to death. This is the Australian one. Look out for it. It's due very shortly. Yeah, just looking forward to it. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. See you then. Bye.